I grew up in a house where silence felt heavier than any shout. My mom was always working late, coming home exhausted, and my dad left when I was 7, disappearing like a door slammed shut forever. I learned to brush my own hair, warm my own dinner, and pretend I wasn't scared of the dark when I slept alone. School didn't feel any better. The girls in my class called me weird, laughed at my hand-me-down clothes, whispered when I walked past. Some pulled my hair, others hid my backpack, and a few made fun of how skinny I was. I wasn't the pretty girl, or the funny girl. I was the easy target. But what hurt most wasn't what happened at school. It was having no one to tell when I got home. Mom was too tired to listen, and Dad's empty chair was a reminder that I wasn't worth staying for. I learned to swallow my feelings, smile even when everything hurt, and pretend their words didn't bruise me. Birthdays came and went without celebration. I stopped wishing for gifts and started wishing for someone to care. I kept thinking maybe if I were prettier, louder, braver, maybe someone wouldn't leave. Maybe someone would stay. By 13, I avoided mirrors. I didn't trust compliments. I walked with my head down, and every night, under my blanket, I cried in silence, telling myself, don't make noise. No one will hear you anyway. I didn't know it then, but life was about to introduce someone who would change everything. It happened after another terrible day. A group of girls cornered me in the restroom, mocking my clothes, calling me pathetic, recording my tears like it was entertainment. When they left, I stayed there on the cold floor, hugging my knees, trying to stop shaking. That's when Miss Rodriguez, my English teacher, walked in. She froze when she saw me, then slowly sat beside me without asking anything. She didn't rush me, didn't force me to explain. She just said softly, "Sweetheart, who made you think you deserve this?" No one had ever asked me that. No one had ever used sweetheart like it meant something warm. She helped me wipe my face, walked me to her classroom, and let me sit there until the bell rang. The next day, she pulled me aside and said, "I see you." 3 simple words, but they cracked open the wall I had built around myself. Miss Rodriguez helped me report the bullying. She checked on me every morning. She gave me books about strong girls who survived everything thrown at them. She made me stay after class to talk about my writing, because she said my words had power. For the first time, I began to believe I wasn't invisible. I wasn't unwanted. I wasn't broken. Her kindness didn't magically fix my life, but it gave me something I had never felt before, the beginning of hope. A quiet voice inside me whispering, maybe you deserve better than the pain you grew up with, and slowly, I started to believe it. Healing didn't happen all at once. It came in small pieces, like the first time I looked in the mirror and didn't hate what I saw, or the first time I raised my hand in class without shaking, or the first time I said no instead of letting people walk all over me. As I grew older, I realized something powerful. None of what I went through was my fault. Not my father leaving, not the bullying, not the loneliness that shaped my childhood. I wasn't too quiet or too emotional. I was a girl surviving things that would break grown adults. I started journaling, reading, setting boundaries, and surrounding myself with people who made me feel safe. I learned to choose friends who actually lifted me, not ones who needed someone to push down. And I began healing the younger version of me, the girl who cried under her blanket and blamed herself for everything she couldn't control. Sometimes when I feel insecure, I imagine talking to her. I tell her, "You were always good enough. You were always worthy. You were always lovable." Today, I'm not the broken little girl they tried to convince me I was. I'm a woman who climbed her way out of silence, learned to speak, learned to stand, and learned to love herself in a world that didn't make it easy. And now, I stay, not for them, not for the people who left, but for me, because I finally learned I was never the problem. I was the miracle that survived it.